Disclaimer, this video features discussion of content which may be triggering to some people and is absolutely not suitable for children. Please watch at your discretion.
Hi! So in the last video I talked about what are probably the best well-known breast-centric games on the NES. They were released in both USA and Japan, some of them with slight differences. And even though they are super rare, they still had more distribution than the sexy games I'm going to talk about in this video. Rare sexiness.
That's right, I'm back on my baubles and playing some more NES games that are meant to appeal to your more desperate side. The side that, if left on a desert island for weeks, would be quite happy to f*** a coconut. And so far in these games, most of the drawings of nude girls look like they were carved into the wall of a cave by someone who has never touched a breast in their life, including their own. And once again, all these games I'm going to talk about are insanely rare. When they first hit the market, they were released for Asia only by Sachen. Sachen had a load of bootleg games that it released primarily in Asia, but there is evidence that some of them made it to US shores. Again, I don't want to go down the rabbit hole, so I'll just say that Sachen had more than 60 games on its books, not including the wealth of multicarts that they released. And a lot of their games are so incredibly rare that you've got more chance of being hit by lightning twice than ever lay eyes on them. And as we're going to see, you'd probably prefer that. Since they're a bit of an oddity thanks to their limited release and the fact that both the game quality and cartridges themselves are utter clown shoes, they aren't really sought after in the collecting community beyond hardcore collectors. Sachen also published their games under the name Thin Chen Enterprise, which is the company often credited with the development of their games. Seems Sachen were mostly for publishing and Thin Chen for the creating, but it's the same company.
So let's have a look at some of these unlicensed bad lads. You know it's gonna be bad. I'm really not in a good way.
So first up, let's have a go at Bingo 75. This one was published by Sachen, but it says on the title screen that it was developed by Thin Chen Enterprises. It was released in Asia only and is dated in 1990. And I hate it already.
Friggin' slot-based video games, I can't cope with them. Slot machines are nice enough in real life because you have the thrill of losing all of your money and your mortgage and your marriage. You don't really have that with a video game, at least not directly. There's no real thrill here, apart from the assumption of 8-bit breasts.
It's not a bingo game. The number 75 probably comes from the fact that that's the number of balls used in a game of bingo. But there's no balls here, unless you count the utter sack that is the gameplay. You've got 5 wheels here, but you can't stop them after you push bet. Off they go, with a horrible, horrible sound effect. And they take their sweet time to stop too. You can double up occasionally when it tells you to, and it'll take you to this screen, where I have no idea what's going on. I played for more than an hour, I'm serious, and never in that time did I get a jackpot. But I wasn't playing it that long because I enjoy it. I was playing it that long because I was looking for what made this game supposedly adult only.
Yep, it is technically an adult game, with adult stuff. And back at this time, adult simply meant a naked female. And that is despite the fact that the graphics render it not sexual at all, even when it tries. Desperation breeds desperation, I guess. And I am desperate, so here we go.
In Bingo 75, according to the very sparse sources on the internet that talk about the game, you do get to see a naked woman. So, armed with that information, I wanted to see if it's true, because I couldn't find any screenshot proof that there is some naked chick in it. Which means I sat here like an absolute mug trying to find her. I can't believe I'm saying that and admitting to it, but here I am. It's here in the double up screen that I got to peep her twice. Here she is. The first time I saw her, I wasn't recording. This is the second time. As you can see, she's taken off her clothes. But in the first shot of her, it's clear she's supposed to be a schoolgirl, which is not creepy at all. No siree. I'm guessing the third time you see her, she's taken her skirt off too. So that's something to look forward to. I played for another half an hour before giving up on seeing that and going off to sit fully clothed in the shower to reevaluate my life choices.
I am not joking. I genuinely played this game for ages just trying to get the bonus to see the naked woman. I cannot believe I'm admitting to that. Is this what being a teenage male is like? Just going through the motions in desperation of seeing some breast that isn't even that good? Now, the fact that this is supposed to be something that someone would willingly crack one out to just proves that female breasts are way over-sexualized. Because if you can really get hard over that, then fair play to you, mate. Although you probably shouldn't be left alone around women.
When you see this screen, it only stays up for about 30 seconds. How the hell am I supposed to wank and finish in that time? My hand isn't damn hydraulic. I'll set myself on fire through friction. Alright, enough of that one. Let's move on to Honey Peach, because you need to see this bullshit. It's another unlicensed NES game that promises some 8-bit titillation. Whoa, girl, is that your ass? What happened to your spine? Are you okay? I don't like this. I was expecting a sexy game, not friggin' Mortal Kombat. This time, getting a girl naked is apparently as easy as playing rock, paper, scissors. Rock, paper, scissors, that is, being played fast as all arse. Absolute state of this. You don't really have any control of this, you just have to mash your button at the right time. They're both just throwing up 100-mile-an-hour gang signs by default. There's just no skill involved, unless your eyes work at a 1/100,000 shutter speed, which mine don't. And really, my dude, do you actually want to cop off with a woman who can move her hand as fast as that? Your penis would be worn down to a stub within seconds. Come to think of it, since you're obviously very fast-handed yourself, why don't you just piss off and give yourself some loving and leave this poor woman alone? There's 4 girls in total to play against. Genuinely have no idea how they're so willing to get undressed for this guy. I mean, look at him. He's very clearly a complete and utter wanker. Which again is another reason for him to just sort himself out. Oh, it's the girl from the title screen! Presumably before she got her back kicked in.
Please, after all this, tell me that I'm at least gonna get to see a hot naked bloke.
Yeah, if you lose against these girls, you have to take your own kecks off. Have you noticed how games featuring naked women always make the males look goofy? There's some real psychology behind that, which is both interesting and depressing, which I won't get into because I'll get brigaded by incels. Well, Honey Peach is a very rare game and I'm never going to get hold of a physical copy, and the standalone ROM I have is pretty borked. So this is what you're getting if you get her first lot of clothes off. Fine if you want to bone and missing no, I guess. Again, you just need to win a few times to see her entirely naked. Oh, there she is! Once again, you don't get very long to get an eyeful. What is the point in this? I like how when the girl is entirely naked, it does wait for you to press a button before moving on. Good guy developers right there. Well, you've got to have some reward for that complete lack of gaming skill.
These girls are just poorly drawn though. In fact, that first one looks like she's just taken a massive tab of acid and she didn't offer any to me, so I'm already pissed off.
Next up, it's Shisen Majong, or Majong Trap, released under the name Joy Van. Joy Van was another part of the company which would merge into Thin Chen to become Sachen. Now first off, I really enjoy Majong games. I think they're relaxing. Not this one though, you need to be fast as all hell to finish it in the time you're given. The controls aren't as responsive as they should be, and there's this really weird voice that pops up and shouts at you for no reason now and again. Dude, leave me alone, I'm trying to play Majong. Got to love how the lass on the title screen has taken the time out to cut a hole in her bra where the nipple should be. I'm telling you right now, that would be so uncomfortable. Also, you look like an idiot, love. There's a couple of girls to see in this one. I like this one because she looks like she's peeking nervously around the corner. Seems a bit too distracted to be playing Mahjong. Then again, this lass had said screw it and is having a little nap, so yay, a reward screen. Great. I can't get beyond the first one for any of the girls because the timer is just bullshit. Judging by the look of them though, I'm not missing out on too much.
If I really wanted to see some poorly rendered breasts, I'd just look in the mirror with my top off.
You can use these free goes to find some tiles for you when it gets too difficult, but I am still getting owned. This one was also released by Hacker International Japan. Remember Hacker International from the last video? They released Peekaboo Poker, Hot Slots and Bubble Bath Babes in Japan. So let's have a look and see what changes Hacker International made to Majong Trap. Oh my god! What the hell happened to this poor girl? You have 2 massive fissures in your head. Are you still okay to work? No, I don't know if I trust you to dispense my medication. Why does she look like she's about to tell me about her multi-level marketing business?
There's something really special about the drawings of these girls. I mean, this poor lass looks like she's had parts of her hair ripped out. Look at that. Naked scalp. Actually, her having bald patches does support the idea that she runs a multi-level marketing hair care business. Oh, haven't I seen you before? I mean in the game, not half naked on my desk.
Hey, it's the same girl from that stupid slot machine! Well, now I'm pissed off. You couldn't draw us some more girls? We're just getting a copy and paste? Now this is another rabbit hole I'm just gonna skirt over because it is deep, but these images are used by Hacker International in a couple of their games, and Sachen and their subsidiary Thinchen uses them in a few too. I can't clarify which company was responsible for drawing them. At first I thought it was Hacker, but Hacker don't appear to have released Bingo 7.5 or been involved in it. Anyway, back to this baubles.
Seriously, how are you supposed to clear these boards when you have so little time to do so? Every time you match 2 tiles, this stupid animation of a star shows up and eats away some of your seconds. And in this game, every second counts.
There was a whole bunch of times that I was so nearly about to finish the board, only to run out of time because of this stupid star taking its sweet time. It is bullshit. This star is absolute baubles. If this thing was a constellation, it would be Sagittarius. Or Capricorn. If this star was one that you could actually see with a telescope, it would be shining at you from the Q Nebula. I seriously cannot get past the second level. In fact, most of the time, I couldn't even get past the first one. The timer is so unfair, and after all of that, the pictures of the girls are not worth seeing. Plus, you'll be so stressed out after having to play a tile matching game at 100 miles an hour that the last thing you want to see is some depressed lass taking her clothes off. You get to see her for under half a minute, but you'll need every second of that time for getting your breath back. Oh god, the anxiety. This must be what bomb disposal technicians feel like. But here's another thing that blows my mind. If you really want to finish the levels easier, you'll need to get hold of a second player. Player 2 can pick up where you left off when you run out of time, so it's pretty much the only way you can finish any of the levels past the first one. Just think about this for a second. Handing your mate an NES controller and saying, yo, my dude, can you please help me see this cartoon of a naked girl? Thanks, cheers mate, sound. Unless they are also male and 12 years old, they're gonna leave your house and never come back. Well, so far we've just had gambling and puzzle games, so let's have a look at something a bit different. How about a top-down shooter with nudity? Because that's just what my favourite type of game needs, to be totally ruined for me. Let's move on to Papillon Gals, another one delivered for Sachen by Hacker International. Well, maybe by Hacker International. The so-called erotic release of this particular game is credited to Kinema Music. Along with Joy Van, who were part of Sachen, who developed the original game. But Kinema Music could just be another Hacker International pseudonym. Or it was a company that worked with Hacker and Joy Van. You know what, again, a rabbit hole. Not jumping in just to pull out what isn't that much of interesting information anyway. You know, even though I've spent about 6 hours so far trying to find it out. This one is an adult version of Galactic Crusader, which was interestingly also published in the US by Bunch Games before they became Color Dreams. And Galactic Crusader was just Incantation, which was released for the Famicom by Joy Van.
None of that stripping baubles in this game, it just goes straight to the point. To the naked girl. Yay.
Well, not straight to the point, you have to go through 3 levels of fair to middling space shooter gameplay first. It's alright, it's nothing amazing. Probably the best one of these bootlegs I've played so far, but I mean that isn't saying much. If you just tuck yourself in at the edge of the screen, you'll mostly be left alone. But you do get points for killing the spaceships, and they drop pickups, so it's worth staying in the middle to make killing the final boss on each level easier. Otherwise, it's a real slog. The butterfly takes 3 hits before exploding. The background is minimal and often makes no sense, like there's this level with just a load of logs floating about. What? It's only after the 3rd level that you'll actually get to see the naked girl. Up until that point, you'll have no idea you're even playing an adult game. The title screen is bland and basic. There's this random witch that flies on and then clears off. I mean, what is going on? There's 4 pictures of girls all together to see, and they're probably the best ones that we have seen so far. Proper nice anime style, nicely shaded. Can't believe I'm sat here appraising this crap.
I still feel like I could do better though. See? This is way hotter than that. No, I don't take commissions, sorry.
Disclaimer, the only reason I've blurred these ones out and not the girls from the other games is purely because I'm uncomfortable showing what really do look like underage naked girls on my channel. They seriously do not look much older than 16, and that is completely gross. I don't care that it's an anime drawing. I don't care that she's some sort of magical girl who's really 200 years old. It's gross. As a game though, it's really not that bad. Worth a play. I suppose though this one is the best so far drawings wise. That makes Papillon Gals probably the best example of a Play for Pics game Hacker International did for the Famicom.
Now, I would be here from now till the end of time if I were to write and research Famicom adult video games. There is one from the Famicom Disc system which actually depicts the act of sexual intercourse, courtesy of our friends at Hacker International. However, it's not really sex, it's rape of a schoolgirl by an alien, which is why I'm not going to cover it.
Yeah, there is a rapey Famicom Disc system game by Hacker International dated at about 1990. What, you thought a company that made its money from just slamming soft porn into games that didn't need it wouldn't go that step further? You are way too naive, my friend.
There we go, it's a mediocre card game with rape. Done, reviewed. What the f*** is wrong with some people?
Oh, I don't know about you, I love my card games with rape. Let's bring another element of risk to the office poker nights. Jason from Accounts, you better be all buckled up and ready to go, my friend. Sorry, I'm just blown away by the fact that someone at Hacker International said, you know what this card game needs? Lack of consent. And everyone at the company was like, oh yeah, that's a sweet idea. Let me just confirm receipt of these restraining orders and I'll be right with you. Now there's one dodgy unlicensed game that I do want to mention, even if I wouldn't put it in the same category as these other adult games. It's not really an adult game at all, but in the later levels it does feature naked pictures of, you've guessed it, women. You're a woman, aren't you? You must be a sex object. The reason I'm slipping this in here is that it's another game that you'd have no idea features some nudity right up until the point it does. And then it's all up in that. It's really cutesy. It's also very difficult. I had to stop playing it around level 3 just for the sake of my sanity, which, as you know, is already at a razor's edge. Each round you play a different cutesy character and you're trying to swap tiles on the screen to make a picture. That would be easy enough if it weren't for the likes of these bastards trying to mess it up for you. It's actually really hard for most of the game because these things, they will not leave you alone. In this one, you're Santa Claus, and who this guy is supposed to be is anyone's guess. But what bothers me most is the fact that there's a damn killer melon here. What the shit?
And here's a vampire reassembling an image of a very happy looking woman on a bed while avoiding a priest and some onions. Did I take all my acid already today then?
It's jarring to see something like that because that particular picture is sexual. She's arched up on a bed looking very happy with herself. But back on the title screen we were seeing pictures of babies. This other nude is much more artistic and non-sexual, but you still have to ask questions. Who is this little dude reassembling the picture, and why are these Trivial Pursuit pieces trying to kill him? Also there's this guy. My man, don't you appreciate art? Whatever you're supposed to be?
The cover art for the games I've already mentioned don't necessarily depict any kind of nudity, although as they are usually gambling games, you can kind of assume that they're not intended for children. But this one is really cute. You wouldn't know. I mean, imagine giving this game to your little boy and all of a sudden he's asking you, why is there a woman on a bed who's looking very happy with herself? Hey, baby Pac-Man, you're not allowed to play auto upturn. There's a naked woman having an orgasm on it. Oh cool, GTA 5, which part are you up to?
So there's a nice rundown of some of the more prominent Hacker International or Sachen released adult games. There are many more, and I don't have the time or inclination to cover them. Games like Chess Academy and Majong Companion, I'm very sure do have nudity in them. I just couldn't stand playing them for long enough to see. If I have to play one more crappy game just to get one crappy picture of some girl who really doesn't look like she wants to be there, I'm gonna skateboard off a cliff. But before I never talk about any of these games or any of the companies behind them ever again, I'm going to show you the worst puzzle game I have ever played. But you're going to need to wait for the next video because I need to spend about a week lying down in a dark room just trying to get that image of that terrifying girl from Honey Peach out of my head. Actually, maybe not a dark room. In fact, I don't think I'll ever be able to sleep without the lights on again. So join me next time. Please leave your sanity at the door so I can try and steal it when you're not looking, because I need it. Seriously, look at the state of me. I'm a grown woman playing shit games and wearing golden cat ears. I have no idea how I've kept myself alive this long.